Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my Commonwealth of Man playthrough. This machine uprising is just about over. I was looking at the planet that they had here in their system. They've only got the one, and it is just about bombarded all the way down. The other planets have already been recaptured. So there's like 16 health left on this one mechanized assault force, or 16 power level. And they have 975 troops in orbit. They could land right now if they wanted to. And I think I'm going to hold off on vetoes right now. Vetoes are pretty expensive. That one's 450. This one would be 225. What I'm going to do is an emergency measure next. And I think, even though it may fail, I'm going to emergency measure the change council size to 2 next year. And see if we can't garner enough support to get it through. We sold an Ichnerval. That was our last Ichnerval that was on the market. Yep, they were just obliterated when they took over the system. And that did away with the next Nexus starbase. So they're going to need to have a starbase back to get it. But right now the planet has been conquered by the Glossworhenians. So the next Nexus may have a bit of a problem. Glossworhenians broke off the research agreement with the hierarchy of Moffith. Autocracy of Rakaron broke their migration treaty with the Interstellar Picarian Coalition. Adnoran League is in a migration treaty with the hierarchy of Moffith. Our treaty with the Citadel Research Institute for the Pledge of Loyalty has expired. We have more moats than anything else, so let's see if they're interested in moats. Yeah, 500 for 30 years. That's good. I think I understand why the reinforcements were picking the particular fleets. Because Strike Force Scylla and Strike Force Gorgon were both default names, where the reinforcement fleets were ones I actually renamed. So because I actually renamed them, they had priority. I think if I renamed, like, say, Strike Force Chimera or something, that it would suddenly become the priority. It's just, rename it back to Chimera. And since I have actually renamed this fleet, if I were to say tell Strike Force Pegasus Reinforcement to merge with it, yeah, see, it does do that proper way. But now I want Pegasus Reinforcement before it merges with it to jump to Deneb, so it gets there a little bit faster. But yeah, I decided these 4 cruisers, that's all that I am missing for Chimera as far as cruisers go. So I want to go ahead and just have these 4 merge in so I can get back to actually reinforcing this fleet other than the cruisers and see what it requests next. It's probably going to work on the battleships next. Plus that'll allow me to bank some for the final upgrade on this cruiser for Medusa to go through. I've started acquiring an asset over here with the Allied Multics. And now that I've finally sold that last Ichnerval that I had on the market, let's go ahead and see about swapping out the Ichnerval species for our new type.
New sitrep.
4 months. I can deal with that. It'll be done August 2nd. And then that will just leave these few oxen litter that are still battle thralls to swap over, which will happen as we replace them. I'll shift them to worlds that need the energy production. I'm just about ready to spin these off, these colonies off. This one is pretty much ready to be spun off. I'm just waiting to see if I can get rid of the criminal underworld modifier. It has been at least a couple of years, I think, that we've had the crime at 0. So hopefully this should go away soon. As soon as it does, I can end the anti-crime campaign and spin this off. I will pull these 5 humans off before that happens and let it promote up the Sithin, who will become the leaders over here. As for Massam, this planet is pretty much ready. I mean, I'm just generating a few more Bessidons and Vingral Kessam to be able to fill in roles, you know, fill up the clerk slots and all of that. I plan on moving any Bessam over, or Bessidons over here, so that I have at least 4 to go up to the politician and merchant jobs. I am slowly replacing the humans over here with Praku. I've got 3 humans left in these jobs. And I need 4 Bessidons over here. I currently have 1, I believe. Yeah, just 1 Bessidon, but there's another growing. So in about a year or 2, I should be able to have this one primed to spin off and pull all the remaining humans off to my world. So that's about 9 humans I'm going to need jobs for. Should not be an issue. I have plenty of places around here to migrate humans. Although I would prefer them to be researchers or politicians. I have 3 bureaucrat slots here. I have a couple of culture workers there. I have 8 bureaucrats here, and I'm in the process of, in about 8 months, I'll have another administrative archaeology, and I can actually get started on another one right after that, because we have plenty of room and housing. And eventually I'll have enough surplus housing just from the administrative archaeologies. I could actually get rid of this residential archaeology and shift it over. But I figure about another year I'll be ready to spin at least one of these off, maybe both.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Whirlwind missiles. New miniaturization techniques will allow us to equip swarmer missiles with more powerful warheads and improve flight performance. Planetary build speed improvement. And I realize there is another one down here. I now use advanced strike craft, so we should probably go ahead and research that. It'll only take 8 months. The only other thing to work on would be the upgraded Giga Cannon right now. That would take 3. So yeah, let's knock out the quick one first and get the advanced strike craft. It is only a few ships that are using that, and I believe it is Hippogriff, which is not yet upgraded, so I could easily retrofit those designs. Yeah, because those are cruisers and above. Yes, it is Hippogriff that uses the strike craft. Now, I did get quite a few that are going to be using the Swarmer missiles. That is also Hippogriff. We'll need an upgrade to the Swarmer missiles. This one I cannot retrofit because it is currently upgrading Strike Force Medusa, which has ones in it. I'm going to have to wait on that. Boy, that puts it right at power requirements. That's going to be a problem. When I upgrade these strike craft, if they take more than 50 power usage, we can actually check that in a sec, but I want to go ahead and see if there were any other designs using whirlwind missiles to replace them with. And I don't think any of the Titans have anything smaller than a large slot. And of course the defense platform would have been automatically upgraded. That does mean I need to do a further upgrade to all my defense platforms. Each of them should have 3 swarmers that need the upgrade. It'll take a month to replace them all. Yeah, it's going to go up by 14 for the strike craft. So I am going to have a power issue with the
Fleet action underway.
I sent the Fortress Legionnaires over to deal with some space amoeba. That was fast. We took a little bit of armor damage. I can send them to repair right there at Rakaron. Citadel Research Institute renewed their pledge of loyalty. The Death Merchants. So there's been a piracy outbreak in the Cowig system. We'll send Strike Force Pegasus to deal with that. May not technically be necessary. It only takes me 3 months just to be sure.
Ships refitted.
All of the Whirlwind Missile Swarmer have been upgraded. Fortress Legionnaires is now fully repaired. Well, since this war down here is pretty much over, let's go ahead and go back home. Maybe they'll actually bother to upgrade the fleet. Veteresian League has completed another gateway.
Ships refitted.
Strike Force Medusa has finally completed its refits. And we have finished the surveys of the Viriac system. So let's jump away from the automated dreadnought over to this system and survey it. And now that Medusa has finished its refits, I can redesign... I don't need to redesign the smaller craft. I've already done that. All I really need to do is upgrade the larger craft to use the upgraded missiles. Now these Whirlwind missiles have a power usage of 17 compared to 10. There's 6 of them. That's 42 more power. Yeah. Gonna be a problem. So I think what we're gonna need to do is get rid of that shield hardener for another reactor booster. And actually add another shield on there. So that gets us our 7 shields, and we have 1 pulse armor. That's very little armor. But these things use the same amount, so it shouldn't cost me any, I would think, to swap it out. It would just be a difference in the cost of the alloys, and this is actually cheaper in alloys, honestly. So yeah, that should work out for the hail of arrows. As for Medusa's gaze, this is going to be another 30 power. I'm going to have power issues here too. And I can't really... That has 180 usage, or power. If I drop one of those for Ancient Pulse Armor... Nope. Ancient Pulse Armor has too much power usage. I will be gaining 80 back. No, I'm going to have to drop that for actual something like Crystal Infused Plating, so that I can drop one of these for another shield hardener. We're about to engage this pirate fleet with Strike Force Pegasus. Probably not before I do my maintenance cycle. We have now begun the massive undertaking of constructing a science nexus. The foundation is in place and preparations are underway to add the main hub. The promise of new groundbreaking technologies and the realization of ideas beyond our wildest imaginings await. And though the road ahead is long and full of challenges, we have taken the first step. Could the endless mysteries of the universe finally be within our grasp? The future is ours. Yeah, we have the materials to spare for that, so it'll take 10 years to get it up to the first stage. And now that the stevedore is done there, I can actually put, as my Empire expenditure of influence, I can start an orbital ring around Proclos. That still leaves me with the cushion I like. Eventually I've got to start banking more, because I'm going to have to start doing mastery of nature on a lot of my worlds in preparation for them to get the Ecumenopolis project, or the Arcology project.
Fleet action underway.
Well, we engaged them right at the start of July. The fight won't last but a few days afterwards.
New species variant available.
Alright, we've completed the modifications to the Ignor Vol. I can get rid of my old template. And there is another species I need to do a modification to. When I gave these people Noxious, and I noticed it reduced the species habitability cap by 30, I was kind of hoping that the lithoid bonus of 50 to habitability would have compensated for that, but that does not improve the cap. So they're stuck at like 70 on most planets, and that would kind of counter all their benefits to being on a tomb world. I mean, they have 100% habitability on tomb world. It'll be dropped down to 70. So we need to remove Noxious from them. Now, what to give them is another question. They're going to be the primary people on tomb worlds, so they're going to be working pretty much every job on tomb worlds. We could give them nomadic, or we could give them communal. Yeah, so they take up less housing, at least right now. And we will go ahead and apply this template to the 3 we have.
New sitrep.
It will take 1 month. We took no damage taking out those pirates. Pegasus can return home. The Soran combined clans have constructed a science nexus, disproving all who doubted and placing them at the forefront for scientific progress. We may want to keep an eye on them, as the completion of such a structure will surely propel their technology into the future, giving them an advantage over other civilizations. So does that mean that they've completed the final stage? Yes. Star Realm of Shar has stopped guaranteeing the independence of the
New
Federation.
species variant available.
We have completed the modifications of the MTOC, so we can get rid of the intermediary design we had. Still cannot do a vassalize on them. I still don't understand why we weren't plunged into war in the first place when they were created. We cannot do a vassalize against the Vetericians either. We completed the quantum catapult research. A quantum catapult harnesses the power of a neutron star or pulsar to twist the fabric of space, skipping a fleet across great distances. Well, we'll have this done in 3 months. It does give us more tech points, and we are doing a few surveys now. As for where we could put a quantum catapult, I don't even know that we have a suitable location in our empire for a quantum catapult. I just realized. Yeah, these are Class A stars. See, can we do a search for, like, neutron star? Nope. But we do not appear to have, that I can tell, a pulsar or neutron star within our borders. This is something that would make a great search feature, by the way, being able to search the stars in my systems. But yes, we have no location where we could build a quantum catapult. So that was kind of a wasted 3 or 4 years researching something we can't even build at this time. I'm not even sure where the nearest neutron star or pulsar is. There's a pulsar. Now that's a neutron star. But there's a neutron star there in our allies' territory. That doesn't do us any good. Yep, we have no location to build a quantum catapult. Autocracy of Rakaron is in a migration treaty with the Citizens Alliance of Orcam Fung. United Nations of Earth is in a research agreement with the Veteresian League.
Ships refitted.
Strike Force Medusa has finally been fully upgraded, so we can begin reinforcing this fleet. Can get our 3 destroyers. To get our Titans, we need a Titan yard. So that's all I can do at this moment with it.
Science Division report success.
We have automated exploration protocols. Advanced AI will aid science officers in their task to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no Blorg has gone before. The science ship will be able to explore the galaxy with the help from an AI. Let's go ahead and upgrade the Tier 2 neutron launchers. It'll take 2 years. In the Vuzabaro system, we found a cloaked fleet, and it has gone missing in action. So there was probably a science ship trying to sneak through here. Why is it saying my borders are closed? Oh, because the ship was a Verzak ship. It selected the ship for me. It is currently missing in action.
Science Division report success.
We have advanced strike craft. A further refinement in strike craft design, these advanced strike craft are a pilot's dream. Their performance far exceeds that of previous models. We can get the advanced habitat. I don't think that gives us an extra building slot. That just gives us more districts we can add. Right now we don't have any mining habitats, but this is a fairly fast tech. So we'll go ahead and research it. It's one of the lower cost ones. It'll take about 2.5 years. Actually almost 3. Now that we have the upgraded strike craft, that's going to create problems for the Hippogriff Roost. And further upgrading the Mega Cannon is going to create more problems. So let's see if we replace this with the plating. We can get rid of 1 reactor booster. We do another one with the plating. We can get rid of the other reactor booster and get 2 shield hardeners. We still have 100 energy we could use up. We could get 1 ancient pulse armor back. Just to get a little bit more shielding. That does give it some armor. And the shield hardeners. Yeah, let's go with that. The only further upgrade will be the Mega Cannon, and I do believe it's going to create more power issues, and we're going to end up having to drop that ancient pulse armor down. Let's see, that has a 200 usage. Let's go ahead and save this design. I can't really see right now what the Giga Cannon is going to require. And the Hippogriff Nest should have the power for the advanced strike craft. And I believe we're at the extent of designs here. I believe 2 is as high as whirlwind missiles go. As a matter of fact, I think 2 is as high as the neutron launcher goes. So there are very little further upgrades to do. There are the X-class weapons and the kinetic artillery. I believe those both go to 2 as well. So after Pegasus finishes its upgrades, it was going to take 166 minor artifacts. It's got quite a few already queued up. It's working on 1 cruiser, and if we go to the station, it looks like that's all it's spent for, is 1 of the cruisers right now. Oh, that's Hippogriff. I was looking at the wrong station. Pegasus. Save station. Okay, it's spent for 2 of the ships already. Yeah, it's working on the battleship and 1 cruiser. It has 2 more battleships and 3 more destroyers to upgrade. So it's just these 2 that are going to require more minor artifacts. And it was 166. I think this was about 50 of it. Which means these 3 together would be about 100. So we probably need to save up another 80 or so. We'll probably have what we need in about 7 months. But Strike Force Hippogriff is going to take a significant amount. 500 to upgrade. And of course we still need 15 more hundred to reinforce the ships. Fascinating creatures roam the plains and coast of Aluna 2. The CNS Voyager reports that the avian life forms are using tools, however limited, and may have the potential for eventually achieving sapience. Scientist Yoon stresses that finding alien life in this state is a rare opportunity. Should we choose to uplift them, they may prove useful. No, I'm not interested in uplifting them, honestly. Soran combined clans have declared Tendra Zun their rival. Regulated growth has passed. Change council size to 4. Has a lot of pull. Let us emergency measure this one. It would currently fail, but that gives me 4 years before I have to worry about one of these to veto. Who proposed this one? Brienne and Stellar Nation. Now that does take 450 to veto. I could call in 10,000 in favors, that's all. That would be a drop in the bucket compared to the number of people that are opposing us. We gained a favor with the United Nations of Earth. I went ahead and spun off the Mullinex sector into Mullinex Mining Industries. It's in the process of building an Overlord garrison. Actually, doesn't look like I need the Overlord garrison first, but I've already started it. I'll let it build. It'll only take about 7 months. But I pulled all the humans off of there and sent them to where they were needed, which was mainly Procloss. Now that does mean I have a bunch of unemployed leaders because they weren't able to demote when I shifted them over. I did have a few leader jobs available at Rhea, so I was able to shift one over to be a politician and a merchant. But now the Mullinex sector should be on its own again.
New species variant available.
I had shifted a few more oxen litter to my energy producing worlds, and I just shifted them over. It only took a day. Of course, I only shifted like about 5, because this was 35, I think. Actually, that might have been a little bit more. But yeah, we've only got 30 oxen litters left of the old type. Bash Holdings is in a migration treaty with the Great Human Empire. We renegotiated the deal. It only cost me 56 influence to do it. They're giving me a little bit of basic resources and as much research as they can. And if we go to contacts, that really hasn't affected their loyalty much yet, but now I have access to building 3 holdings on them. Tenderzun declared Soran their rival. I thought they were rivals. They must keep fluctuating their power level and losing rivalry. We're connected to the capital of the Mullinex mining industries. Mullino mining industries. Sorry, Mullino. We got a chunk of energy credits from Fortress Legionnaires. I need to spend some. Let's buy a huge amount of alloys. Actually, we're getting pretty close to capping on minerals and food as well.
Science Division reports success.
Doctrine support vessels. A fleet does not run on zeal alone. To ensure steady access to critical supplies, we should organize our logistics corps into dedicated support vessels. We're going for the auto-curating vault. We'll have that in a year. That will boost our bureaucratic output on our unification centers. And I have started another Mastery of Nature. I believe it's on Camelot. Yes. Because Camelot is one of the ones that will be turned into an Ecumenopolis, so I wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way before I shift it to be an Ecumenopolis. We've sold an Ichnerval. United Latrepians are in a migration treaty with the autocracy of Rakaron. It's been a few months. Let's see how the Mullinex are doing over here. Or the Mullino mining industries. Let's see how they're doing over here. Stability is high. This world has sufficient personnel. They have shifted everyone to be indentured servants. Basically gotten rid of the ones I had specialized as chattel slaves. Actually, I don't think I had any specialized as chattel slaves over here. We'll see on the next planet. Yeah, this one also has decent stability. They're indentured servants. They're indentured servants. Yeah, they basically switched everybody to indentured servants instead of domestic servants and chattel slaves like I had previously had them. But that's their issue, not mine. I mean, I also had battle thralls. These Gleer were originally battle thralls. So, I mean, if they want to switch them around, that's their business, but then they end up with not enough enforcers and crap like that, and it's their problem. But at least their stability is decent. So they should be able to maintain that empire. I'm still worried about Pankisha here. It's only really got one Uthabulin trying to run things. They've got plenty of indentured servants, but they are not breeding Uthabulins. They've got a glut of unemployment. So they are most likely going to end, and they aren't able to work our overlord jobs. They're most likely going to end up having a rebellion or just stagnating and never getting anywhere because they won't force growth on what they need to force and have sufficient Uthabulins. We completed an orbital ring in the Tetera system. Did we? What were we building in the Tetera system? An orbital ring around Thebes? Ah, yes. I was setting it up to be a be able to get habitation districts. We're going to need more refineries. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move the developer back in here. To set up another refinery. Because 3 buildings is about all we get. We might be able to unlock one more tech to get a 4th building. I don't know if it's worth us taking Voidborn to get more. But that basically means we'll have an ancient refinery and 2 other refineries here. So that will give us 3 refiner jobs, 1 of each type, and then 2 additional. We could split up however we want. In this case, I'm going heavy for crystals. So I will have 3 translucers, and then 1 for motes and 1 for gases. So that's only 5 jobs we'll end up having. And I've already shut down the clone vats. We've already grown to about the max population here. After I fill out the remaining clerk jobs with Uthabulin, I am more than and grow 1 more Kithen or Imtok to handle the new refinery job that pops up. I'm basically going to have this one just grow humans and shift them off-world to places that need them. Yep, so far this is seriously looking like it's going to fail. And we may end up needing to veto the council size one. Autocracy of Rakaron is in a migration treaty with the Soran combined clans. Forced another science ship to decloak. As they pass through Vuzabaru, they're getting booted out.
Construction complete.
Deneb Station now has a Titan assembly yard. So if we look at, say, Strike Force Chimera is the only one that's there. Let's just see. Strike Force Dragon does not need minor artifacts for its Titan. Strike Force Medusa does. It's actually going to end up needing about 150 for its Titans. And Strike Force Chimera says it needs 71. That's probably for its Titan as well. Since it is not... The battleships only require about 50. I do know that. But Pegasus is still sucking down the minor artifacts as it goes along. It's only got 1 more battleship to queue up after the one it's on. And it will be done with its reinforcing using the minor artifacts. Then I can let them build up so that we can get Chimera outfitted for a bit until we get closer to our naval capacity, and then I will worry about reinforcing Hippogriff. We got an asset in the Multics, an underappreciated member of the citizenry, a junior officer. Ah, good. A subterfuge. That's pretty good for preparing sleeper cells and stealing technology.
Construction complete.
Rick Starbase has finished its Titan assembly yards. And that is where Medusa is. It needs a lot of minor artifacts to get its 2 Titans. Mirvanian Coalition broke the migration treaty with the Verzak. Our pledge of loyalty with the Autocracy of Rakaron has expired. We need to renew that. Oh, we have got the Overlord Garrison built here. So let's go ahead and have it start on the Ministry of Truth. We'll trade some exotic gases to them. 600 for 30 years of a Pledge of Loyalty. Sold another Ichnerval. How many did I have on the slave market? That was the last one right here, the third one to sell. Autocracy of Rakron agreed to the Pledge of Loyalty.
Construction complete.
Safe Starbase now has its Titan assembly yard. Allied Multics territories declared the hierarchy of Moffat to be their rival. Strike Force Pegasus is done sucking down minor artifacts. It's already halfway through the final upgrade. After that, I'm trying to bank enough to work on either Medusa or Chimera. I still don't have, I believe, the Titan assembly yard here. No, it'll be here in 6 days, after which I could probably do it there. And this criminal underworld modifier takes 15 years of having it at 0 crime for it to go away. I think we've only been going for about maybe 5 at 0 crime. So we've got a while before we eliminate that modifier.
Construction complete.
Shaula and Poligar have completed their Titan assembly yards, so I believe that's all the Titan assembly yards. Felnol made peace with the Interstellar Picarian Coalition. A new Kravadox Empire will be created as an ally or subject of the Picarian Coalition out of one occupied Felnol system. So they only were able to get one. There's still a few wars going on here. Hierarchy of Moffat. Yeah, they are more exhausted than the attackers. And this one over here with the Miravandians, the defenders are more exhausted, which is the Felnol, the Tendrasun, and the Verzak, and the Negs. Federician League entered into a migration treaty with the nation of Selnok Prime. And I capped on minerals because I haven't been paying attention to my resources. Let's buy a chunk of alloys, sell some minerals, sell some food, and let's go ahead and buy some rare resources. That gets our cash way down. We can actually turn around and sell a little bit more minerals and food. Multics territory are in a migration treaty with the Federician League. Autocracy of Rakaron is in a migration treaty with the Interstellar Picarian Coalition. Genlot are in a migration treaty with the Kessim Confederacy. Rakuten Imperium is in a migration treaty with the new empire, this, what is it called? Kravadox League. Soran is in a non-aggression pact with the Interstellar Picarians. And United Nations of Earth is in a migration treaty with the Genlot.
Inbound message traffic.
Allied Multics would like a migration treaty. No, thank you. Pegasus
Ships refitted.
is just about done with his refit, is what I was about to say.
Recon pass completed.
Voyager has finished surveying this system. We will jump to here and survey these two systems. By the time we finish that, we can jump over here and survey those two. And then jump here, and finally jump there and survey these 4. I know this system. Gargantua has an event in it. gonna have to decloak for that, I think.
New species variant available.
Modified another oxen litter that I had moved to one of my energy-producing worlds. We've got about 4 Ichner Vol slaves on the market as well. I really need to get a mining habitat up and running so I have a place to offload my Ichner Vol slaves. Tenderzun built a branch office on Mendos. We found a terraforming candidate over in Alpha Hydri. Says their relative power is inferior. Their fleet power is only equivalent now. It's their tech that is overwhelming. But that makes a difference with the fleet power.
Science Division report success.
We have completed automated curation algorithms, continuous asynchronous analysis of disparate data sets, allows for the accurate modeling of hitherto unpredictable fluctuations in social currents. Let's go ahead and work on starbase capacity. Right now we're over our capacity anyway because of this sector we haven't spun off yet. That'll give us a little bit more cushion and enable us to start building some more anchorages. That'll take 2 years. Now with the auto-curating vault, I don't really have a spot for it here on Unity. When it becomes an ecumenopolis, I can replace one of the administrative complexes when I shift it up to using the districts with the auto-curating vault. And I could add another research center in place of the other one. Could also get rid of the hyper-entertainment forums for more research. Here on Doran, I don't really have a building to get rid of at this time. And this is not a candidate for becoming an ecumenopolis. Maybe I'll eventually get rid of the clone vats here. Or I will shift these administrators over to other worlds and change these to, say, barracks or something else. Or refineries. Because it is actually more effective to make refineries on planets than habitats when you really need a lot of materials, because you'll get more building slots for one, and secondly, you get a higher bonus from the capital. When I find the next bonus, I can have as much as I think plus 30 to resources from jobs. I'm stuck pretty much at plus 20 or plus 10 on habitats. I have as soon as I get the system capital complex, I can add one here on Camelot. And on this world, I can replace the gene clinics. I don't really need them anymore, so we will replace them with the auto-curating vault. That will be the most benefit since we have so many administrator jobs anyway. Earth 2, I'll go ahead and start adding a city district for the additional building slot. And that is currently the extent of my administration. Miravani Coalition broke their migration treaty with the Glossworhenians. We are connected to the Verzak again. We've encountered another primitive civilization in a renaissance. Apparently, if you just shift a person over, you're not able to do the modification on them immediately. It'll fail because I don't know. But yeah, I was just trying to shift over one
New sitrep.
population I put over here. It'll take a month. I probably should save up and do more, but I don't mind setting back a month. We've completed the orbital ring in the Finn Habanus system around Proclos. Now what I really need is a building slot, so I've got to wait till I can upgrade this. It doesn't really need modules at this time, habitation modules. I have plenty of districts. I don't think I'll end up using them all. So in the interim, I could actually use this as a anchorage. Federation League built another gateway.
New species variant available.
We shifted that oxen litter over. Discovered another cloaked science vessel trying to move through Vuzabaru. This one was Miravani Coalition. As soon as Truett finishes its construction, I've got to go there and modify some things. Alright, let's make sure it shifts up the clerks, so that we have them working. I needed to add another satellite campus in Molyneux. You know, I forgot to establish an embassy with our new holding. They agreed to the embassy. Ah, good. My criminal governor, the one with corrupt, has finally passed away, I think. I did already have an available governor since I lost a sector. That does mean I can go through during my maintenance cycle and cancel the anti-crime campaigns I had on those worlds.
Recon pass completed.
We have a new proposal. We are still surveying another system before we need to jump. Nominate Custodian Star Realms of Shar. Of course, they're the ones who proposed it. We are going to oppose that. When decisive action is needed, a member of the Council can be elevated to the position of Galactic Custodian. The Custodian is granted special powers and can propose new, powerful resolutions. We might have to save up to veto that one. I was planning on nominating myself, but I don't believe no empires are going to support that. No empires would support mine. It looks like nobody wants a custodian yet. Now, if I could improve my relations with a lot of other empires, I might be able to get some support behind this. Because what it comes down to on the support, a lot of that is how they feel about the person who is involved. Their opinion of the proposer makes a difference. Not a huge difference, but a difference. Yeah, their opinion of the proposer and their opinion of the target both make a difference. See, this is interesting. They have a bonus for their opinion of the proposer, but a penalty for their opinion of the target. So if we want to garner support, we're actually going to have to improve relations with a lot of people, or basically get our opinion up. So let's look at opinion map mode real quick. The Tendrazun like us, but they believe we're genocidal. United Latrepian domains like us. Of course our subjects like us. They have to vote with us. Next Nexus has a small opinion of us. The Hierarchy of Moffith likes us. The Allied Multics like us. And the Soren like us. But it says nobody's likely to support it. We would have to see. We might be able to sway. Even the Star Realms of Shar like us, actually. So we do have a lot of people who like us, just not enough support behind that for them to vote with us. And our actual Vassals don't carry a lot of weight. Yeah, the Great Human Empire actually has the most. No, United Latrepian Domains. They actually have more weight than we do. That's weird. It's showing they've got 112,500. That can't be right. No, they've only got 42.4 here. But here, yeah, it says their diplomatic weight is 42.4 thousand, but yet they've got 112.5k. So they must have called in some favors for support from others. This actually is not that far off, it appears. See, these that are abstaining actually do want to reduce the council size, and their ethics support it. However, their overlord would be removed. This one, I don't know why they haven't voted for it. And these little ones don't matter that much. But yeah, the Sovereign Jazajan is opposed because they would be removed from the council. But yeah, I don't understand why they've got so much weight. Ah, it says there at the bottom, the favors they've called in. Hierarchy of Moffith and Veteresian League. So they called in favors to get this passed. We can call in a few favors, but not enough. The Hierarchy of Moffith and Sovereignty of Tuxcali are the two we would need favors from to really shift this, and we need a lot of favors. We have another proposal. Minor military sanctions proposed by the Veteresian League. We will support this. Oclaran Interplanetary Confederacy broke their migration treaty with the Star Realms.
Skywatch has sighted a spaceborne life form.
Must be that one that's sliding along we just spotted. Or perhaps that one in our allies' territory. Let's go ahead and hunt them with Strike Force Hippogriff. Ah, no. That's the one we just spotted. And that is just a void cloud. And it looks like we haven't actually encountered void clouds before. After we finish this one, we're going to jump there to survey that system. When we leave out of it, we will drop Cloak so that we can get the first contact. And we sold an Ignorval. Our spies report that the Interstellar Picarian Coalition is close to possessing enough information about the L gates to unlock the one they control. This would give them access to the L cluster and its secrets. If we are to get there first, we must double our efforts and find more insight into the L gates. I'm not that worried. Through hard work and experience, he has gained architectural interest. Dermot Chase has. And he's the new one we just put in charge of Leffingwell. We still got 2 years to try and pass this. Veteresian League broke the non-aggression pact with the Star Realms of Shar. Looks like the Veteresian League is about to lose a lot of territory.
Fleet action underway.
To the hierarchy of Moffith. Though it's not... No, they may not necessarily have that many claims.
Inbound message traffic.
Trepian Domains would like a research agreement. I'm working on improving my influence right now. No. We successfully hunted the Tianki and got a chunk of energy credits and gases. Does not look like we took anything but shield damage. Despite the fact they had energy siphons that are very effective against shields, they did not end up getting through our shields. Alright, y'all return home. Our Swarmer and antimatter missiles were very effective against the armor. And our driller drones were very effective against their hull. So it looks like Hippogriff is a good one to hunt to Yankee. I thought of a potentially cheaper way to veto the change council size. Brienne and Stellar Nation are the ones who proposed it. Well, I have out a proposal for them to become my subject. If they are my subject, they have to vote with me. And I'm opposed to this. So there's a good chance they may withdraw the proposal, since they would have to vote against it and can no longer support it. We'll see. But I actually couldn't even find them on here. They have such a small amount. They must be an opponent of it, but the list must go further down than we can see. Because they are here with 654. And that particular icon is not visible anywhere here. So there must be a whole bunch more opposed to it that have less than a 6K value, and we just can't see the list when it extends beyond this many empires. You would think this would be sized to be able to show all of the opponents, but apparently not. I also have trades out for favors.
New species variant available.
Modified another oxen litter on Hawksworth.
Construction complete.
I traded 8,000 food and about 2,000 of motes, gases, and crystals for 10 favors from the sovereignty of Tuxcali. And we sold another Ichnerval. Intel gained from double agents. Our double agents in the Interstellar Pakarian Coalition have delivered us useful intel on one of their espionage operations. So they failed on an operation against us, and we got intel. They agreed to become our protectorate. Now, another thing is having a protectorate adds 0.25 influence for your subjects. So my subject will go up to 0.5 because this will be my second protectorate. I didn't ask for any taxes or anything. I can't get troops over there to land on them right now, but we do have a new subject. And they should be gaining loyalty, yes, even without that. But we can go ahead and put a Ministry of Truth on here for even more influence from them. And we'll see in a month or two if that goes away. I've got 2 years to build up to veto it anyway, although I would like to be able to call in the favors here. Because that is 63,000 weight. That'll get us up to 400,000. And the other one that I've got favors that I'm getting up with is the Hierarchy of Moffith, which will add another 55. We traded about 1,800 of every material for the 9 remaining favors there. Now, it would take me 200 influence to call in those favors. And altogether, it'll be 120,000, which will put us at 460, or close to 470. Still not enough to pass, though it is possible some of these will shift over to supporting it. Both of these have enough value to support. So that's another 37,000. And there's a few here that have just about got enough value to abstain from it. Soran is one. The Hierarchy of Moffith might get up to the abstain level because their monthly bias is going up. But we'll hold off on calling in favors till closer. We have a new proposal. The Tiyanki Conservation Act, I'm opposed to that. United Nations of Earth is proposing it. Tiyanki are a unique form of spacefaring life, and they must be protected from those who would do them harm. They are a great source of energy credits and gases.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
We have the neutron launchers, upgraded energy projectiles that rely on neutrons instead of protons for their destructive power. Let's go ahead and knock out the Curator Exploration Lab since we are doing surveys, and that'll be a little bit more tech weight for us. We sold another Ichner Vol. And yet another one. Let's see, we still have 7 on the slave market. And it looks like it worked. I do not see the proposal to change the council size to 4 up anymore because they realize I would be against it, so they pulled it. So that only cost me 50 influence to vassalize them instead of the 450 it would cost to veto that, and that allows me to spend my veto on something like Integrated Gardens, which is a little bit less expensive, or Charter of Workers' Rights, which is even less expensive. Actually, Integrated Gardens is not less expensive. It is also 450. But right now, Building a Better Tomorrow will be the next one up. Sold another Ichner Vol. And I didn't pay attention and we capped on energy credits. Well, we sold a bunch of these. Let's just buy 1,000 of each of these. That'll get us pretty... Actually, let's go ahead and buy 500 of the dark matter. We need to stockpile dark matter because eventually we are going to declare war on like the Queptilians. They've got a 500k fleet, basically. And our fleets are getting up there in power. Fortress Legionnaire is about half their strength by itself. And any 2 of our fleets is another 100k, and we have 6 of them, so we have about 500k. It would be a brutal fight with just us, but then again we are going to have the Latrepians, who have some decent fleet sizes, and the Autocracy of Rakaron helping us if we declare war on the Queptilian Archivist. But we could start making claims on their territory and actually take it over. Now, most of these colonies are pretty cool and pretty stagnant. Hedonists, protectors, overseers. Yeah, they don't produce a hell of a lot, but we could make a lot of use out of the sectors they have. And eventually spin them off into small vassals. We could claim like 1 at a time and just do claim wars against them and create a whole bunch more little vassals feeding us influence so we can do more with our territory. Sold another Ichner Vol. We have a new proposal. Now, refusing your vassal stuff doesn't always work because, for example, Comfort the Fallen has been proposed by my protectorate, the Genlock Conclave, and they have yet to pull it despite the fact we're opposing it. I believe we have restricted diplomacy. Okay, now who re-proposed this? The Kessam Confederacy. Now, they are the leader of the Pan-Galactic Pact. There's not much we can do with them.
Construction complete.
Finn Habanus now has a full orbital anchorage for now. Rishethian State declared Felnol Cooperative their rival. Miravandian Coalition declared us their rival. We're actually missing a rival. Well, if you want to declare me your rival, I'll return the favor. I did pull my spy out of there, unfortunately, and put him in the galactic community for now. And as you see, I am now top with diplomatic weight.
Ships refitted.
Strike Force Dragon has been fully upgraded to have the neutron launchers now. We sold another Ichnerval. And yet another.
Science Division report success.
Curator Exploration Lab completed. These shipboard lab facilities incorporate advanced technologies from the ancient Curator Order to further increase survey speeds. Gateway construction. I believe that is a priority for us. That would allow us to start building gateways so we can quickly reinforce to our borders. We could get gateways in our subjects and eventually get a gateway to get us over to our new subject, the Briannan Stellar Nation, whose threat is the military isolationist stagnant ascendancy over here. And that is probably the first one we're going to start tearing apart. Because there are, if we can get over to this area through a gateway of some sort, then we could start claiming areas like this and maybe deal with that. Basically be able to jump into areas that other people have not gotten to yet. Habitat expansion. Our early habitats were primitive things compared to the efficient designs we can now develop. Let's go ahead and get the alloy nano plants. That's fairly cheap. We'll have that in about a year. We can upgrade all of our nano plants. And that will give us more economic score because we'll be producing more alloys. Our Scholarium deals have expired with the Citadel Research Institute for 30 years. Let's see if they're interested in any of the mundane stuff first. They've got a little bit of interest in minerals and food. We've got a lot of interest in consumer goods. How about alloys? A couple thousand alloys was enough. Citizens Alliance of Orc and Fung is in a research agreement with the Miravandian Coalition. Miravandian Coalition is no longer a valid rival. Prospectorium techniques needs to be renewed with the Miravandian Imperium. Yeah, dark matter and minor artifacts are the only ones we can really trade with them. Other than favors. Let's give them 500 dark matter. I can buy that back. Matter of fact, I can buy that back right now. And we sold an Ichnerval. They agreed to renew our research agreements. They agreed to the Prospectorium technique renewal. Our pledge of loyalty with them has also expired. We'll trade them another 500 dark matter. I'll buy that back in about 3 months. Sold 2 more Ichner Vol. They agreed to the Pledge of Loyalty. Speaking of loyalty, yeah, the Brienne and Stellar Nation is now positive. We still can't establish an embassy. They're still considered disloyal for a little bit. We'll have to try it again in January. Now, there's a space amoeba in the Glossworhenian capital, which does remind me we need another rival. We are rivals with the Citizens Alliance of Organ Fung and the Glossworhenians, and it looks like the Fel Null are getting their butts kicked. Well, there's not really anybody I can declare a rival that I want to right now.
New species variant available.
We modified a few more of the oxen litter. We don't have that many left. Only 20 left to worry about. They're slowly being replaced. Established an embassy with the Brienne and Stellar Nation. Spy Master Guy Morin recently launched a quiet investigation into his operatives in the United Nations of Earth after noticing a recent drop in their performance. He's discovered these operatives skimming from resources allocated to intelligence gathering and bribes. These goods and currencies are being reinvested elsewhere in human business concerns, earning the operatives a comfortable profit at our expense. As a result, their attention and loyalties have clearly become divided. Progress on Operation Prepare Sleeper Cells has been put on hold for the moment until Spymaster Guy Morin can reassert operational efficiency. This cannot be tolerated. Issue reprimands. Spymaster Guy Morin regretfully reports a breakdown in our United Nations of Earth spy network. When a group of thieves amongst our operatives was called to account, their response was to flee, scattering to parts of human space that even we struggle to monitor. Guy Morin is no longer able to track them down, at least not without drawing undue attention. So we're losing infiltration speed for 2 years, and we lost 5 infiltration level. We can go ahead and start setting up our Overlord garrison here.
System reconnaissance completed.
We finished surveying this other system, so we can jump to Enigma's End to survey it. And then this system. Federician League has constructed another gateway. Interstellar Picarian Coalition has vanquished an ancient threat in the distant Viriac system. That would be the drone, or the automated drone scavenger bot. Oh, Enigma's End is a shattered ring world. Or what used to be a ring world. Aglaran Interplanetary Confederacy is in a migration treaty with the Star Realms of Shar.
Ships refitted.
We refitted the wormlings, or the worms, in Strike Force Chimera. It is now fully upgraded again. It's still waiting on its... Now see, this is another issue I have. Right now, it's at Deneb. Deneb is churning out a Titan. If I go to reinforce, it will not reinforce, despite the fact there are 3 more shipyards there. It will not build anything else at Deneb because it is building a Titan. But the extra shipyards do not increase the speed at which the Titan is built. So why are they being tied up? I do not know. If it's not going to allow me to build anything else there at Deneb, the unused shipyards should boost the speed at which the Titan is built. But we can reinforce Pegasus while we wait. Nothing's being built over at Safe Station. But yeah, until the Titans are completed at Shaula, Marik, and Deneb, it will not build anything else at those stations. Forced another science ship to decloak and leave Vuzabaru. There's been some surprise opposition, it appears.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Nano separators. are a revolutionary new step in the creation of alloys, simplifying the casting process while improving overall production quality. An overall boost to our alloy output. That'll also help our economy, which will help our diplomatic score. Take about 2 years. Now I can only add about another 100k, so I do not know that I am going to be able to influence this to pass. With the significant reduction of crime in Ubaria, the planet's once pervasive criminal underworld has been reduced to nothingness. The populace has been imbued with a renewed sense of safety and harmony. Now, we can remove the anti-crime campaign. And now that this colony is stabilized, we do have 5 humans to move off this world. And then we can cut it loose. So let us resettle them to Proklos, where we already have 6 unemployed humans from the last. Actually, there are a few places that we're about to grow. That reminds me. This one is about to get a system capital complex, which should add another politician. So we can pull one of the unemployed from Proklos there. Truett has about 7 months, and it will need one, so we can pull one there. But now that we've pulled the humans off of Ubaria, we can spin this sector off as another holding. We'll call this one the New Ubaric Regime. And we are using the Kithen as the species. Expansion permitted. Don't join our wars. Give us 2. Cost 56 to spin this one off. We'll have our transport fleet re-land. And we will start with the Overlord Garrison. Now that should cut down, yeah, that dropped about 70 points off of our empire size.
Science Division reports a new breakthrough.
Manifest destiny. We must have the courage to seize our fate and make true what was always meant to be. Get more gene modification points, more fleet command limit. Yeah, let's go for the targeted gene expressions, so we get more gene modification points. We'll have that in about 1.5 years, about the same time we have 2 more points and unadvanced traits available. And now that we have extra starbase capacity, I can start building a starbase here in Niamba. And one in Rastaban, in preparation to have more for naval capacity. Oh, and we should probably contact them and go ahead and establish an embassy. We're connected to their capital. Tendrazun built a branch office on Destiny. They agreed to our changes to the agreement. The Admiral of Strike Force Medusa has passed away at the age of 104. Let's get Hana Turani. They refused our embassy. It says they're disloyal. Oh, the deal just went through. We've got to wait for it to go positive. If we'd gotten it earlier, if I'd started with that, that might have gone through. But oh well. We're going to have to wait till they get positive again. Fel Null are building a science nexus. Crash and burn Fel Nullins. Yeah, let's see. I'm only adding in... $120,000. At most, I could add in $125,000. That won't cut it right now. Mullinex Mining Industries has become more xenophilic. They embrace the Alien Justice Center. Now they will start freeing their pops. Yep, we could not... First off, I couldn't get it to pause in time, but I was looking at the amounts. There was nothing I could do to sway that, so that one failed. Alright, we have to renew our research agreement. We have to renew our logistic support contract. I'm going to need to veto the size of 4, it looks like. We need to extend our fleet contract. And I think that's pretty much all we do at the start of a 10-year period. We renew our deals with the Fortress Legionnaires and with the Curator Order. But it's been another 5 years, so thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.